What's up, YouTube? It's your boy MaltFrazier coming to you with a little post-game reaction for this Alabama Florida State game. Um, Man, I mean this was I'm an Alabama fan, so this was a rough one. I mean, especially coming off of last season, very disappointing. Especially the way some of last year's losses happened. But to come out here and basically, kind of lay an egg for most of the game. It was extremely disappointing to see, man. I thought, at the beginning of the game, we had some good momentum rolling. That first drive was really good to see. I think it was about 16 play drive. We took about 10 minutes off the clock, ran the ball pretty well. We had some good third down execution, and also just did a pretty good job of, keeping the chains moving, right? Extending the drive, putting ourselves in advantageous situations, third and short, fourth and short, and executed well. And then after that, honestly, we just just laid an egg. I mean, the defense was super disappointing today. I was expecting a lot from them. I thought our defense was mostly pretty good last year, but obviously there were some games that were pretty gross to watch. Vanderbilt, Oklahoma. But with all the guys we had coming back, man, I mean, Deontay Lawson, Keon Sabb, Damani Jackson, LT Overton, like, I was expecting this defense to be super explosive and effective, especially, I'm pretty sure we all knew what we were going to see today. Florida State did a whole bunch of RPO kind of stuff, did a lot of triple options kind of stuff that we got burned with last year. And so, we had 9 months to get ready for this, man. And to basically not put up any disruption, so to speak. That was really disheartening to see, man. I mean, you got to give Florida State credit. They had a good game plan. They did their thing, but you know, this Alabama team, man, like where was the physicality? Like Florida State was the more physical team by a long shot, man. I mean, Earl Little Jr., shout out to him. I mean, Alabama transfer, he was out there just on a mission, just a straight missile coming out of the secondary. He took Ryan Williams out the game. It was a clean hit, but man, he was out there doing his thing. And so, I think that was the thing that disappointed me the most about our defense was just, the lack of physicality, not winning those battles up front, not being able to shed blocks and make plays faster. Florida State's run game was, killing us, especially in some key third down, kind of situations, fourth down situations. We weren't able to force any turnovers. And then obviously, yeah, so this was a tough one, man. And I mean, let's take a look at this box score a little bit. So, Ty Simpson, 23 of 43, 254 passing, two touchdowns, no turnovers. And like Ty also had a couple of runs. But my first kind of thoughts on Ty Simpson. I thought Ty did okay. There were some times where, we saw him make some good throws, maybe on a third down type of situation. But for the most part, I mean, Ty looked like a system quarterback. I mean, we lacked, a lot of explosiveness, in my opinion. It seemed like everything we got offensively, we had to work really hard for, and Florida State was a stingy defense. But to me, man, like we got all these weapons on offense. Everybody raved about this receiver room all off season. It's a room that's nine deep. We can put all these different players out there, and we had some guys make some plays, but it was a very disappointing day as far as our ability to create explosive plays outside of Jeremy Bernard making some plays. He was a bright spot today for sure. 8 catches, 146 yards for him. So really really good day for Jeremy Bernard. But man, my guy Ryan Williams, real tough day for him. I hope that he has a speedy recovery. Hope it's nothing major with the hit he took, but you know most importantly, just hope he gets well soon. But man, he really struggled prior to that. I mean, obviously, when he got hit, he was dropping the ball before he got hit, right? I mean, if he had caught the ball, maybe he would have been able to get down and avoid that. But he really struggled today catching the ball. Didn't feel like he was getting a lot of separation on his routes. Now they did double team him and bracket him a lot, but there were some opportunities and some plays to be made for Ryan Williams for sure. So hopefully he approaches it the right way and can get back on track that we saw at the beginning of last year. Because right now, I mean, Ryan Williams got some work to do, man. I mean, there's high expectations. It's kind of look, it's giving Odell Beckham vibes with the I made a big play, early in my career and kind of living off that big play a little bit. So. We need some more production there, but obviously first things first is, just him getting healthy, making sure he can get back on the field, and we wish Ryan a speedy recovery. Um, but yeah, let's look at the run game. We had a couple of decent runs here and there, but we didn't run the ball nowhere near as consistent as I thought we would have, especially based off the first drive. I'm not sure uh, if I think Richard Young got a little banged up because we didn't see him a lot in the second half. I thought he ran pretty well in the first half. Kevin Riley gave us some juice. So, it was some runs here and there, but, we just, we need more production there for sure. Um, and I would like to really see, obviously what we look like with Jan Miller coming back. Not having his presence, I think, was definitely felt today. So, injuries happen, but, I thought, we should have enough to be able to have a good day today. And, the rain didn't really factor in that much. However, one of my biggest issues, it seems like, man, the last few games we played in in Florida, we got guys slipping and sliding, falling down all the time. And it's like, why is it only our guys that are slipping and falling? Everyone's playing on the wet grass. I mean, like what's going on there, man? So that's another frustration of mine. Um, and then we take a look at the receivers here. Jeremy Bernard, he was fantastic today. 8 catches, 146 yards. And he was the guy that made a play when we needed one. And he was, dependable. He got a little banged up, but I don't know if it was anything major. But yeah, and then we saw Rico Scott make a nice play on a touchdown. Josh Cuevas had a couple plays in there, dropped the ball a little bit though, and I imagine it was still wet a little bit out there, but man, we got to catch the ball, man. We got to make these plays. Um, and the O line, it was a very mid game. I thought at times they did a good job of protecting Ty, giving him an opportunity to uh, make plays. And Ty did, some things with his feet, but I was just expecting our offense to be operating at a much higher clip as far as efficiency, being able to get the guys we want to get the ball to at a faster pace, not having to wait for things to progress so much. And so this team got a lot of work to do, man. I know playing on the road is tough, but man, look, this is Alabama, man. This is championship or bust every season, right? So and this don't look like a championship team by any means. I don't think it looks like a playoff team. But at the end of the day, we got to give Florida State credit because we don't know how good Florida State is, right? Like, obviously they finished 2-10 last year, but in today's college football, where you can, kind of redo your roster each year, who knows how good this team might be. Um, but as of right now, operating under their reputation last year, let's assume this team is like okay, this Florida State team. This doesn't look good for Bama. Um, so, I think Kalen DeBoer's seed is heating up, and now it's gonna be interesting to see how this team responds. We always get a whole bunch of hype about the standard and blah blah blah, and you know, yeah, we hear whole bunch about the standard and Alabama, we always got some fancy hype video, blah, 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 man. Like, we just want the results, dude. Like, yeah, as a fan base, we're spoiled. Saban made us that way, and even before then, right? Like, the expectation and the standard has always been that. But, this is, this not gonna cut it, man. And so, recruiting has been pretty good. Player retention was amazing last year as far as being able to keep players and not having them leaving into the portal. We got more continuity with our coaching staff, and none of that mattered today. None of that mattered today. This was a not good performance in a lot of ways, man. So let me know what you guys think. If we take a look at Florida State a little bit in the box score. You know, Tommy Castellanos was obviously a big playmaker for them today. Both running the ball, passing the ball. Very balanced game for him. So, 152 yards passing on 9 of 14, and also ran the ball 78 yards in a touchdown. And then, Florida State they just made plays when they needed to make plays, third down, fourth down, keeping drives alive, keeping Alabama's defense on the field. So this was this was a tough one, man. But it's still roll tide, man. But you might gotta buckle up this year, man, because this team got a lot of things to fix. But we'll see how we respond. Obviously it's one game, so you can bounce back from a bad loss early in the season. Still, you could bounce back from two losses, but losing a game like this so early in the season with the schedule that we got, man, it's gonna be tough, man. So hopefully we get some, players back, and hopefully the guys that got banged up today aren't out too long. But this team got some work to do, man. It is, we need to be way more physical. Um, our D coordinator, Kane Womack, he needs to get right like ASAP, dude. This is unacceptable. He's probably the one I'm most disappointed in. I just feel like he didn't have the defense prepared today. And we paid the consequences for it. So, we'll see, man. Hopefully, these guys get right. But, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And stay tuned for more videos coming soon. All right, MaltFrazier out.